Beasley?
Ibáñez.
All right. So, Miss Beasley, do you have any children living with you? All right, and who is that?
She's my partner.
All right. So, I'm not going to allow you to live with Mr. Williams because he has issues of his own. You understand?
Yes, sir. I want to let you know I don't put them together no more or nothing like that.
When did that? You need to speak up. When did that end?
I would say about a month ago.
Because you were just here with us by Zoom, were you not?
Yes, ma'am.
And when was that?
Thursday.
Thursday. So who are you living with?
No, we are in my apartment. That's where we are at in Austin.
And who lives in the apartment with you?
Me and BOYD. He doesn't stay there anymore. He's back in San Antonio.
No, that's not what you said on the Zoom. I will tell you, my mind is a steel trap. I remember you being on Zoom, and I remember you saying that you lived there with him. And my issue was that you all were jumping from place to place to place.
Yes, sir. So we were living with him at first in San Antonio. Then we moved to Austin. I stayed in Austin. He left back to San Antonio.
Deputy Laura, can you look this cause number up and tell me if he is in custody? It's 2018 CR 12116. Oh, no problem. Jamarkese, Jamarkese Williams. Or I guess it's Jamarcus. All right, so he's not here in Bexar County, because if he was, there's a warrant for his arrest and he would be here. So he's not here.
He's not with me.
No. All right. So you need to come back to Bexar County because you're not in a stable situation, and you're not even stable where you are because you say the lease is not even in your name because of your issues. So you need to come back to Bexar County. You understand? All right. Bashan?
Yes, Your Honor.
On this case, I'm giving her 14 days to get back to Bexar County. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are not allowed to move anywhere else without my permission. So if there isn't something on your paperwork that says Judge Boyd is giving you permission to move, you are not to. Do you understand? All right, so she needs to be back. I'm going to give her till June 20th. So I'm giving you more than 14 days. So you're coming back here by that time. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to explain something to you. I know sometimes people say, Judge, it's not your business that I'm moving all over the place and taking my child everywhere, but it is. And the problem is people don't understand that children are people too. And part of my job when I take, people and place them on probation is to protect the community. And for some reason, people think protecting the community doesn't include children, that children have no rights and they should just go on their merry way on whatever adventures or misadventures their parents are taking them. So if you look at it objectively, your daughter has been taken from place to place to place. And Mr. Williams, he's not her biological father, is he? So I want you to think about how many men or how many adults you brought into your daughter's life that shouldn't be there. He is on probation for assault, bodily injury out of a felony court, and that's who you brought into your daughter's life. I don't know why people don't do background on people when they have children. You should stop bringing random people into your child's life. You understand? Probation, is there anything else that she needs?
Your Honor, she completed a parenting program that was for a 4-hour course.
Mm-hmm.
Is that acceptable in court's eyes?
What did you learn from that course?
Well, I took it in 2022. I can't say everything I remember, but as far as how you should treat your child and how to cope with things with your child, how to act around your child, what not to do around your child.
How not to bring inappropriate people around your child, which is what you did. She needs an updated course of parenting, a remedial course in parenting.
Preach.
So if there's another course for her to take, and it doesn't have to be the complete long course, but obviously she didn't get the point that you're not supposed to just allow random people around your child. So is there a course? Should we try rainbows?
I'll talk to the CSO to see what will help, Your Honor. But as far as alternate living conditions, is it okay that I discipline parents in courts?
Yes.
And then,
and if you are not by care by June 20th, what's going to end up happening is a warrant may be issued for your arrest. You understand?
I do want to point out, Your Honor, that her intensive outpatient treatment begins on the 12th of this month. So, and that will be in person as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Here.
All right. And can you make sure that they do field visits?
Yes, Your Honor. How many times a month?
Let's start off with 1 time per month until she has at least been in outpatient treatment for at least 2 months. And if probation doesn't see any issues at the home, they can then do field visits as they deem necessary. Now, is there anything else you need? And how old is your child? All right, so let me explain something to you. She is 100% dependent on you to protect her, to bring good people into her life. You understand? You can't come first anymore. It has to be her because she cannot get a job on her own. She cannot take care of herself. She can't enter into contracts where she gets apartments on her own and any of that. She's dependent on you. You understand? All right. Is there anything else you need from me? You sure? All right. So in this court probation, to be successful, you got to communicate. If there's something going on in your life that you need help with, contact probation. If you feel they're not addressing that issue, then you can come to court, okay? All right, good luck to you. All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 0684, State of Texas versus Demetric Deshaun Jackson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
Abelardo Garza for the defendant.
All right, you entered a plea on April 19th of no contest, and you applied for probation, and you entered a plea on the offense of assault, family choking, strangulation. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 7 years. The state opposes your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state? Defense?
I have Your Honor.
All right. State, do you have any witnesses?
State has no witnesses.
Defense, any witnesses?
Just my client, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state your name for the record.
Demetri Jackson.
All right, you can lower your hand. Defense?
Can you please state your name for the record?
Demetri Jackson.
Dimitri, you've applied for probation in this case, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell the court why you think you should be given probation?
Very deserving of a second chance, and I want to be more help to my kids. Wow. It helped me stay more focused on trying to rebuild what I lost for my kids.
Okay, this was an incident that occurred, and I believe you told me it was purely an accident, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you have any relationship with this woman?
No, sir.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry.
Okay.
How's an, I mean, he's pled to assault choking, is that correct?
That's correct.
I don't understand how assault choking is accidental.
Oh, you told me?
Yes, I mean, because
Oh,
you're saying it was an
oh.
accident. I don't know how you choke someone accidentally.
Oh, no, it was a misunderstanding. I mean, it was a misunderstanding.
How is choking someone a misunderstanding? And mind you, I'm just trying to figure out what you're trying to tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't understand how choking someone is an accident or how choking someone is a misunderstanding. Now, if somebody said, choke me, and you thought you heard them say choke me, and then you proceed to choke them, I can understand, oh, that's a misunderstanding. I thought you were telling me to choke you, but you didn't. So I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from.
You're referring to the whole incident, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You're referring to the incident, correct? And did you have any kind of relationship with this woman?
No, I didn't.
Okay. How did this come about? Did she feel that she had a relationship with you, or what? Can you explain that to the court?
We was working on a business plan, and I guess our feelings got more in tune. If she was trying to be more than what I was going to face in my bed war. So
I'm sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
I said, we was working on a business plan, a business deal, and I guess her feelings got more involved there. She was trying to carry on a relationship, a business relationship with her. So, I mean, I feel like she was posting her son, like, I mean,
And if the court puts you on probation, how do you think this will help your family?
it allowed me to rebuild what was taken away from me, what was like literally robbed me. So, you know, it's the steps I have to take. I mean, for me to be out here with my kids, I mean, I do whatever I have to take. I mean, I promise my kids that I will give them the remainder of my years. I mean, with dedication to them than what I've given them in the past.
No further questions.
So you said that this was all a misunderstanding, and I was reading in the PSI that you also said she did it to herself. Did you recall telling the PSI person that she did the choking to herself?
Yes, because I didn't trust her. I mean,
Okay, so it's your position that she choked herself.
yes.
Okay, and you told the TAP evaluation officer that you smoke 8 blunts on a daily basis. Do you recall telling her that?
I used to.
Do you still smoke 8 blunts on a daily basis?
No, sir.
Okay. And do you think you have a drug problem or drug treatment?
No, sir.
Okay. And have you been on probation before?
Yes, sir.
Have you always completed your probation successfully?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you've never had to have your probation extended?
I was on the probation one time. I don't think so.
You've only been on probation once.
Yeah.
So were you put on probation in 1995 for assault bodily injury?
That's right.
No?
That's right.
So if the PSI says that you were, is that correct or incorrect?
Incorrect.
Okay. And you weren't put on probation in 2004 for possession of controlled substance, PG 1 grams?
Question, that's right.
So if the PSI says that, the PSI is 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you weren't put on probation for driving while your license was suspended in 2000?
Yes.
That was the time you were on probation?
No, it's 1994.
Okay. So the 2000 for
I was on parole. I was in prison for parole. I was on parole.
which year did you go to prison?
2006.
But before that, no probation.
No question.
Okay. So you were never revoked from probation before that. Okay. No further questions.
All right, any follow-up question?
No, Your Honor. Rest.
All right, the court will hear argument. State.
Your Honor, I think according to the PSI, he has been on probation many times. He's been revoked from probation many times. I think he's come to the court and he's misrepresented his criminal history. Furthermore, he's minimizing his guilt. He says that he didn't do it. He says it's a misunderstanding. He even told the PSI officer that she choked herself and that any injury she might have had, she caused to herself. I will also point out that to the extent that defense tries to argue he had a rough upbringing, he told the PSI officer that his childhood was blessed and that he doesn't need any kind of drug treatment. He also said he doesn't see how probation is going to help him, but he'll try. I think this is someone who doesn't want probation, doesn't want the kinds of services that are available to help improve somebody's life while they're on probation. And for that reason, the state is asking that you meet the cap at 7 years.
All right, defense.
No,
All right, if he wants to say something, I'm fine with him saying something.
Don't say so, go ahead.
When he was saying about it wouldn't help me. I was talking about the treatment of classes, not as for the probation. The lady had called me again yesterday from the PSI, letting me know that she was typing too fast and some of the words got mixed up. And she called me again yesterday and asked me more questions. Because when I did my PSI, she really wasn't understanding what I was saying. Before it's what she typed on paper.
Okay. All right, defense.
Well, Your Honor, I think this case has been going on for quite a while. He hasn't been in any further trouble, Your Honor. I think this was an incident that occurred because I think the lady thought that she had a relationship with him and he did not want to. We're asking the court to put him on probation. I believe he knows that probation will help him. He'd like to do what he can to get a job, do what he can for his family, and be there for his family. So we're asking the court to place him on probation.
All right. Mr. Jackson, I want you to know, I did look at everything. I just don't think that you're a good candidate for probation. What I'm going to do is find you guilty, and the previous judge found you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to $500 fine, time and money, rank and current. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's been no contact with Elizabeth Dahl. Take in consideration 2020 CR 2357, and I'll sentence you to 6 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
All right. Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, Mr. Jackson, if you want, I can ask that you be referred to the therapeutic community. It does not increase the length of time that you're in custody, but it may be able to help you with any drug issues you may have. Do you understand? Would you like that or no?
Yes, I was trying to understand because.
All right, thank you. Good luck to you.
He's very nervous, Judge, so.
Oh, if you have any questions about anything, just let us know. All right. And if it's something you don't understand, let us know, because I want to make sure that you understand everything I'm going over with you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The court is calling 2021 CR 8111A, State of Texas versus Stephon Brown. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Charles Buck for Mr. Brown.
And are you Mr. Brown?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you?
I'm 23 years old.
Okay. Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Brown, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, sorry, did you sign it?
Oh,
Did you sign it as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm showing you the true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
we did.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Did you understand you're charged with the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court would have granted your application for deferred adjudication if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked? The court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Brown, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, no.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's to be a $2,500 fine, affirmative finding of deadly weapon. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking into consideration 2021 CR 8112A. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 8 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, no contact with Aiden, ADAN, Alvarado, Alexander Alvarado, Andre Alvarado, Tamara, TAMARA Alvarado, and no contact with Zachary Guerrero or with 7418 Westville Drive. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
At this time, the state introduces exhibit number 1 and all of the questions.
No objections.
Mr. Brown, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney?
Yes,
Did
ma'am.
you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor, please.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We believe he's deserving of the plea bargain. We ask you to follow it.
So, Mr. Brown, it appears that other people were called, but they didn't show up. You're the only person who showed up, I guess, to help your friend. It's best in these situations to call the police. You understand?
Ma'am, I do understand.
So, where were you coming from when you went to this location?
My home, 'cause I was a few streets down. That's why I was called.
All right. And who lives with you?
My grandmother.
So, it's your grandmother's house?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
I have a 6-year-old, and I have a 4-year-old, and a 3-year-old, and a 2-month-old.
And how old are you again?
23.
So you're 23 years old. You have a 6-year-old, 4-year-old, 3-year-old, and 2-month-old.
Yes, ma'am. And I have 2 step daughters that I take care of as well. Just in biological.
All right. So you have 6 children basically, and you're 23.
Yes, ma'am.
So where do you work?
I'm a mobile mechanic.
How far did you go in school?
In 8th grade, because I pursued mobile mechanics.
Like, why didn't you graduate?
I have social anxiety, so I like big crowds. It gives me a lot of anxiety, so I ended up not going to school after I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
And what did your parents say about this?
They knew about my social anxiety and how it is with my schooling. So, and how I was already, I've been a mechanic since I was 12 years old. I've been working on cars, so I'm pretty good at what I do. So I pursued that instead.
All right. So who lives at your grandmother's house other than your grandmother and yourself?
My grandfather and my fiance and my kids.
I don't think your grandmother intended to have this many people living in her house. Grandparents like to enjoy their golden years. Like, don't get me wrong, I think grandparents love grandchildren, but they don't want to be parents again. They just want to spoil their grandchildren and send them home and maybe take the grandchildren when they want to take the grandchildren, but you're making your grandmother a parent. All right, any drug issues?
Mhm.
All right, anything else you want to tell me before I sentence you?
No, ma'am.
All right, so I see there's no contact. I guess he says he lives up the street, or are you on the same street or no?
I'm not sure where he lives anymore. I haven't completely no contact with him or the family anymore.
Well, you're not supposed to be anywhere on Westville Drive. So I'm trying to figure out if your grandmother's house is on Westville Drive.
It's on Bermuda Drive. It's like 4 or 5.
Oh, no, you don't need to announce it, but I'm just
Sorry.
trying to make sure
Yes, ma'am.
that you're not on that street.
No.
So you have no reason to be on that street at all. And
No,
are there any schools on that street?
no, ma'am, there's not.
All right, so none of the children
No.
go to school.
Well, they go to school.
Go to school
Yes,
on
but
that
no,
street.
Not on that street.
All right. So there's no reason for you to drive down that street or be on that street.
No, not at all. Just brings back bad memories.
Okay. All right. Does anybody want to speak to the length of deferred?
We would be very happy if the court considered a lesser term. Obviously, he's got a lot on his plate. I'm also going to ask the court to address any financial aid you could give my client.
Right.
He's going to be great on probation. He just this scared the heck out of him, and as you can tell, he's polite. He's respectful. Apparently, he's very good at what he does, from what I've been told. So I'm hopeful and I'm confident that he's going to use this as a life lesson and put this behind him, and he will not disappoint this court.
All right. So state, am I reading the stipulations wrong when it appears that what happened is there's some sort of altercation between neighbors? Maybe the neighbor is shooting up the other neighbor's car. People get called and he's the only one who answers the call. The other person just texted and said, well, good luck to you if your neighbors are shooting up your vehicle. And he's the one who said, I'm on my way. Am I reading this correctly?
believe that it is.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing. When somebody calls you and there's this going on, I know, who knows what any of us would do if your mom calls or your brother calls and says, my next door neighbor just shot up my car. Hopefully, people would pick up the phone, call 911. I'm sure reaction is, I'm going over. I understand that. But you're going to have to make better choices because from what I'm reading, this isn't your relative. Am I correct?
No, ma'am. I was just very close with the brother.
Yeah. So you should have just called the police or texted like the other person.
Yes, ma'am.
And
I wasn't aware of what was completely going on. So when I had got there, everything was just, already happening.
All right. So you need to start thinking of the fact that you have 6 children that you decided to be responsible for, one by having, and then taking on the responsibility of 2 stepchildren. And I'm glad you say that they're your stepchildren, but they're your children. I really dislike when people differentiate between, yeah, they live with me, but those are not really my children. Because I think,
Full-time father.
okay,
I go to work and I go home.
all right, this is what the court is going to do. There's going to be a $2,500 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration 2021 CR 8112A. $200 hours of community service restitution. Those hours will be waived once you complete parenting classes. And probation, because he has so many children and he works, if there's a parenting class that's online, he can take that. But I don't want the parenting class where it's one class and you're done, because he needs more than just one class. Do you have computers and everything at home?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right. There is to be no contact with the following: Aiden, Alexander, Andre, and Tamara Alvarado, and 7418 West WST, one word, Bill, Bille Drive at 78227. And just so the record is clear, you're not to have any contact with that street in San Antonio.
Yes, ma'am.
And also with Zachary Guerrero. So your friendship with the Guerreros are over, you understand?
Yes, ma'am. It's been over since this all happened.
Okay. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And probation, if everything is okay with the field visits, then probation can discontinue those. And probation, if you want those field visits to count for his reporting during that time period, you can. There'll be regular UAs, or either he can do the patch. Patch costs more, but patch is less time consuming because they put it on you, and then they give you a time when to come back to have it removed. But some people have told me the patch is difficult to keep on when you're working in a mechanical area. So let me see. Proof of employment within 15 days of release. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And the court will sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful in this probation?
No, I'm sure that I'll be successful.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, and because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right of appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm sorry, also, there's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. All right, we can go off the record. In this court, communication is key. If there is a concern or issue, address it with probation. If you feel as though probation is not addressing that issue, your attorney will tell you, we're always here. You can always come in the court and I will see what's going on. You must report.
Yes, ma'am.
Do not come to me not reporting. From here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself one question. Is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years?
Yes, ma'am.
And if the answer to that is yes, definitely don't do it. If your answer is, well, maybe, I'm not sure, then definitely don't do it. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I do understand.
All right, good luck to you. They'll probably release you at 1 a.m. sometime in the morning. Why that happens, I don't know. I don't have any control over it. Your attorney could probably call, but to me, you probably should be released sometime by 3 o'clock, but that's just me.
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes, you may be excused. Yes. This court, communication is key.